and gentlemen, welcome to this episode of our Fireside Chat. Today I have the true gladiator sitting in front of me, a gentleman who's inspirational, I find extremely inspiring. I listened to him on the radio. My wife immediately contacted him on Instagram, and he had the courtesy and the kindness and the heart to contact us back, and with his generosity of his time, attend our chat today. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
I would like to introduce you to Sujith, Koshy, Varghese. Did I pronounce
yes,
it right?
You did. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
And I tried to do it without looking at my notes, okay? But I think you caught me looking a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah. Welcome, Sujith.
Thank you so much for having me. And like you said, yes, she did contact me, and it was like, it came as a surprise. And she was like, my husband Dariush does this amazing motivational podcast and inspiring stories. And I was like, of course, I got to be a part of that.
It's an honor. It's an honor to have you here.
Thank you.
Now, I'm going to go straight to the point. The viewers are looking at you now, and all my guests are sitting, right? Well, you're actually sitting on a wheelchair.
Yes.
Okay. You're a very young, inspirational man. You're age 28. And just tell us a little bit about the awards that you've been winning recently. And I know you've done some TEDx talks. You've become an inspirational leader. And then we can go back a little bit, if you don't mind. We're talking about your upbringing. We talk about your accidents, because you weren't born like this, right?
Yep.
So do you mind sharing with us?
So talking about the awards, my biggest and the best one, one of the most proudest moment for me in my life was winning in 2017 the award for the most inspirational personality, and it was by Masala Award. So that's like the IFA version of UAE GCC. So you got like all these Bollywood stars who come up for the award, and I ended up winning the Masala Award 2017. And there's a very interesting story to that, which I think we should come later to, but just keep that in mind. Yeah.
No, share with us now.
And right now,
Yeah.
okay. So
I'll bring you back to the subject.
there was a lot of things in my life. The story goes way back. A lot of things in my life I wouldn't do because I was so judgmental and so conscious on what would people think about me. Would I look smart doing that, or would I look stupid doing that? So I would never probably do some things out of fear of judgment. People would probably judge me. So
Thinking you were arrogant.
I think a
cocky,
lot of people, I think we
show off.
face that in our own lives. Like we don't put out a lot of things, or we don't put out true feelings based on thinking what others would think about us, which we don't really have to care. So, but one thing what I did was, when in 2017 I had a surgery in 2017, and I was in the hospital for a good 2.5 weeks during my surgery period. And so a good friend of mine, Chris Fade, he comes and he was messaging me on 16th April, and he's like, yo buddy, what's happening? I'm like, man, this place is dead boring. I'm not even able to work out. My birthday was the next day, 2017. So he comes in the hospital with 2 pair of dumbbells, like 2 10-kilo pair of dumbbells, surprising me, and I had no clue. And he comes and we just get to chatting, and I show him a rap that I've written, because I've always been listening to hip hop, love hip hop. And I used to like to write raps, but I never put it out there, always with the mindset thinking, would my rap be good enough for people to even listen? I mean, look at the guys in the field, I'm probably not that good. But it was a very short one. It was a very simple one. It was based on a story that just happened a couple of months back. And I just shared that with him. And the next day, 18th April, we go live on the air. He just called me from the video. Your birthday?
18th of
Oh,
April,
wow.
yeah.
Okay, I'm 17.
Oh, man, you're in Aries also, right? Leaders.
Yeah, man. Aries, yeah.
Yeah.
So he contacts me from the studio. And without telling me, he plays my rap on the radio. And it was I wrote that rap because I wanted to leave people on a positive note on what was happening to me during that time.
Do you remember it?
Yeah, I remember the rap by heart.
Would you do it now?
You want me to? Okay.
Yeah, I love you.
So
too.
the story is I just came back from Bangalore after a short trip, solo. I did a solo trip in a wheelchair, and I just came back, and that's when I came to know I had the surgery, right? So this is how it goes. Yo, I wanted a vacation. I didn't know which nation. I went to Bangalore, and that was a celebration. I'm back in Dubai, got a wound in my thigh, doing my CFA, and that is side by side. Now I'm at this institution, gotta handle my situation to end this chapter without a complication. But there's a thought in my mind I like to notify. After all this while, I've come to realize that you can't suffice to live this life with a mind this size. That's unwise. You gotta disguise, optimize, improvise. You gotta visualize of how you wanna rise. You gotta do this more than once, so just twice. I rap this, guys, because we are likewise. We all gotta rise and live life king size.
Wow.
I did that.
Obviously, he was recording you when he did that, right? In the hospital.
No, I did that on my phone,
Did
and I
you?
just
And you sent it
put
to
it
him,
out.
and- oh, wow.
And I have no idea how he has the clip, and he played that on the radio. And
Amazing, by the way, amazing.
Thank you. And this is exactly how it happened. So I'm just literally telling her what happened in my own way, and he played it on the radio, and the Miss World of a very long time ago of India, she heard it. Her name is Selena Jetli. She heard it about it, and she tweeted about it on Twitter, and my phone is like ringing from my sisters and my friends, like, dude, Selena Jetli just tweeted about you, like, what's up? She just heard your rap, like, just heard Sujith rapping on Chris Faye's show.
Single?
Huh?
Is she single?
Sadly no.
No, forget it then. Right, next. Just joking.
And so that year, a lot of people heard it, so it came on the radio, so I would never put it out there unless he put it without even telling me, right? But that landed me that year. She was a jury of Masala Awards, and she nominated me for the awards.
Wow.
And I won that award. So you see how the trend goes, just out of fear, which I wouldn't have done something. When that was put out there, that was accepted. People connected, people liked it, people could relate. And that led me to get something which I would have never probably imagined of.
That's amazing.
So that really inspired me, you know.
Never planned.
That was but
Yeah.
you know, that was something that was really an eye
I've met Chris Fade a few times. What a great guy. What an amazing guy.
energy. It's like he walks in the room, you know, a ball of energy
Positive,
just
love. It's amazing.
just came.
Yeah. Actually, maybe I can interview, but if Virgin allow it, I'm not sure.
I think they should.
Yeah, I think
Chris,
they should. Yeah,
I'll
you,
get you
you,
in,
maybe
man.
you can have a chat with him. I have his number, but I've never
Sure.
called him. So maybe we'll.
For sure. And
so yeah, you did.
Masala Awards was
yeah,
one.
yeah.
TEDx, I have done a couple of TEDx talks, about 3 of them till date. And I was just nominated for the Fitness Influence of the Year by Fit Awards. So yes, these are some of my notable achievements.
Amazing. And none of it, you've gone out looking. People contact you, they've heard about you, they get inspired by you, they know your story. Incredible.
Yeah.
Your story.
Yep.
Still a very young man. You got most of your life ahead of you. You were very capable, able, walked, everything was healthy, and
Yeah.
then you had a crash.
Yeah.
Please tell us, if you don't mind, share with us.
So
Is that okay going back?
yeah, it's okay. I spent 3 years in Bangalore. That was from 2010 to 2013.
You were born in UAE.
I was born in UAE. I did most of my schooling here, except for 3 years of my education, which like my 10th, 11th and 12th, my schooling was done in Kerala, India, where I'm basically from. And
I've been, by the way. It's gorgeous.
Kerala?
I fell in love with it. Yes. I
Amazing.
went to my sales director's wedding last year.
Okay.
Loved it.
No other place like
Loved it. Yeah.
It's a very different.
Fell in love with India.
So that's good to hear, man. That's good to hear. So yeah, and 3 years I spent in Bangalore doing my bachelor's in commerce. And first year was great. Second year I got into biking. I mean, I got my bike because I was always crazy about getting bikes, and I got my bike. And we used to go for these bike rides very often. So every travel was in a bike. Never drove a car by then. It was always biking. And
Circuit or cross country? Or
no, we have these organized races.
okay.
Like otherwise, also like college, it's a bike. You're going out everywhere, it's always bike. You know,
Okay.
that's the mode of transportation for me.
But the
And-
racing part wasn't a circuit. You were racing
No, it was on the roads.
on the roads.
Yeah, it was on the roads. That's when I learned racing is only meant for circuits, not the roads. And then so we also had this thing where every time late in the night we used to go out, you know, with our friends for a chai and something of that sort, right?
Did you wear helmets then, or
So this is the thing. No, we did not. Most of the guys wouldn't wear a helmet. You would have a helmet, but it would probably be in your hand.
it was uncool?
Yeah, it's I think uncool for some, but for me it was more of it's just the comfort level of not having it. I mean, but it's safety definitely, but you know. And one such night we were getting out with our bikes and we were having a drive. And I remember the only memory, this is what is my very last memory of that night. It was on March 31st, 2013. At a friend's place, a couple of us, we took our bikes out for a ride. And I had a pillion rider with me. And there was another bike and 2 more. And we went, there's this place called Madiwala, it's like this under bridge. I remember going under this bridge on a good speed. Like on my bike, it was a pretty good speed and I was going zigzag.
Good speed, you mean fast?
I was going fast, yeah.
Recklessly, or maybe?
Not really, but I was told because I cannot really tell you exactly what because
The memories.
of that night my memory was quite wiped out. But I do remember like my few snaps of what I have of that night was getting under that tunnel and going kind of zigzag, because it was just a joyride, you know, being very real. It was just a joyride going zigzag, and that's it. But what I was told was, while going zigzag, my crash guard of the bike that pops out of the middle of the bike
Hit the road.
hit a stationary truck that was parked over there. That's when my bike lost control. I banged into a footpath where my pillion rider flew. And I was still on the bike because I was holding the bike, and my body went and crashed onto a wall of a shop. Because there were like all shops after shops, and one of the shop, my body went and crashed, and that wall broke and it fell on me. So I was under a lot of rubble of weights of stones.
So you
and
had
stuff.
a number of impacts on your body.
I had, and I'd have a helmet. So the first impact, how it happened, was my head and my back. Now, that's where I'm blank. But what really went down, the story that was told later on was, so after this impact, she flew. Was
she okay?
She wasn't okay. So when these guys, when they heard the noise, they came back on the bike and they just saw this just happened. And I apparently looked pretty okay. Like I wasn't too bad, other than I just hit a wall. But she looked really bad. Like, you know, her shirt was gone, her was bleeding, and, you know, a lot of scratches and stuff on her body. So, and she wasn't breathing. Now, technically what you're supposed to do in a situation, what they would have done in Dubai is wait for an ambulance. But being India and being at 3 o'clock in the morning,
They picked you guys up.
they picked us up, big mistake, and they put us in an auto rickshaw. But I don't blame them because they are not trained professionals.
Yeah.
You know, they just panicky, exactly. You know, they don't know what to do. And they put us in an auto rickshaw. You know what's an auto rickshaw?
The pickup.
Like the tuk-tuk.
Yeah. With the open back. You can
No open back. It's a very
No.
small thing. It's
Right.
how do you call it?
It's a tuk-tuk, yeah.
It's just a driver, and then two people can sit behind.
Okay, because I lived in
it's
Thailand.
open,
They have the tuk-tuks with the space in the back.
But like way smaller than
Right,
that.
right,
Way
okay.
smaller. And can you imagine? We was crushed into it. You know, so she
unconscious,
both. completely, both of us, because they were not waiting for an ambulance. So we were brought to a hospital called St. John's Hospital, and in St. John's Hospital was the first hospital. Now, because she wasn't breathing, and I was slightly breathing, they put her in the ICU. As soon as they put her in the ICU was full. I did not have a place for me, and because I looked fine,
So you wait.
I was on the lobby lying. I'm completely unconscious. This is happening at 3 o'clock. 3:30 is when we are in the hospital, and they're pumping air into her lungs for her to start breathing because she was in ICU. Then my cousin sister, my family is all in Dubai. My cousin sister, she heard about this. She comes to the hospital. Till 7 o'clock, I'm left untreated in that lobby. I'm just lying over there. At 7:30, they finally get a call from Fortis Hospital, Bangalore, which is quite close by, saying that there is a
Units available.
there is a ICU available, bring him in. And they sent a ambulance, they picked me up, and they brought me to Fortis, and they found me, I'm breathing my last breath, like I'm barely gasping for breath. I have zero memory. I was told all this. So when they understood, it's like there was a puncture in my lung. And then they first fixed that puncture because approvals wasn't needed, because it's like a life or death matter. So they fixed that puncture, and then my parents were contacted. The next day, my parents flew just to come to know what happened to me, which was a huge list.
And when did you gain consciousness?
I was in coma for 3 days. And when I gained conscious, the first thing I saw my family. I saw my mom and my dad, my brother-in-law, my sisters.
Do you remember?
I remember that, yes. The first encounter. And I saw them, and the first question that landed in my mind was, what are you doing here? That's what I asked them. What are you doing? What are you guys doing here? And they're like, and my mom comes to me, she's like, Sujith, can you see me? My dad asked me, can you see me? I'm like, yeah. I just nodded. My mom asked me, do you recognize us? I'm like,
Because they were worried about coma and maybe
yeah,
brain
I just
damage.
woke up from a coma, yeah. And my mom asked, can you see, do you recognize me? I was like, yeah. And I passed out because I was on high dose of morphine.
Don't you love morphine? I love morphine.
You do? I had the most scariest things in morphine,
I love
man.
morphine.
Because I had a 12-hour surgery.
Wow.
I had a 12-hour surgery, so without morphine, I think I'd probably die of pain. You know what I'm saying?
When I had a heart attack, I had morphine.
You had morphine?
And I was floating on the bed. It was amazing.
You're lucky. You probably remember that. I don't remember
I remember.
that.
I was
had a
like,
very
nurses,
different
don't let this run out. Give me some more.
I should ask some more then. Next time.
Definitely. Legally.
Legally, yeah.
So what happened to the lady? What happened to her?
She was, so when she recovered, so she did have breathing issues initially. She was in the hospital. Only one of her hand was messed up. And she had a surgery procedure done for it. The doctor kind of messed it up again. So she's going through rehab, but it's okay. But she's walking, running.
Is she still a friend?
She's, there was a lot of issues that happened in between, to be honest.
Blame.
You know how it would be, there's a lot of blame game. There's a lot of from families because they're suddenly in shock, like because of this happened, or because of you, this happened.
Yeah.
Can't blame anyone, my friend, but it's what it was. And, but she's okay. I'm just happy. Like for me till date, I wouldn't care what happens to me. Obviously the sadness for my family is there, but because of me, something happens to someone else. That's something I really can't.
It's maybe guilt, a little bit of pain.
A little bit, a little bit of all is still there, I would say, to be honest, to be very real with you.
Do you connect with her still to see how
Not
she
really.
is?
But I ask through my friends how she's doing. I still do that.
It'd be really nice if she's listening to this, knowing that you care for her and you think about her.
She knows. She knows because after many years she connected with me because there was this whole phase where she was kind of blaming, in a way.
Of course.
But like it's like nobody asked you to come sit with you on a bike. It was all really everybody knows who drives how.
Playing, right?
It's a kid's play,
20 years
But then
old.
when shit happens, people are like, oh, okay, what just happened,
Yeah.
But it's okay. But this is something that I've never lived. I've never been through. It's not like a repeat, It's a once in a lifetime thing. So I do understand. I do empathize with her, like why this happened to her. And I tell her, listen, I'm in a way bad situation than you. I'm freaking not walking, man. How bad could things get?
It's not like you.
But look at my mindset, Like so, cheer up, positive. You're walking, you're running. Your hand will be back in no time. Just give it time. That's all I tell. But it's good. Like she sees me, I see her.
But thank God she's alive, right?
Thank God she's alive.
She has stories to learn from this experience.
Yeah, definitely would have grown in a different way.
Talk about you. So you had back, head injuries, punch.
So this is what happens. Yeah, they call my family from Dubai. My family flies in, all of them, and they come and the doctor takes them to a room, and they show a chart of living skeletals, and they start with the head. I suffered 18 fractures on my skull. My eye was compressed down. So they said I'll tell you a few things they said after the surgery. So 18 fractures on my skull. My 3 ribs were broken. 1 pierced my lung. That's when the breathing was an issue. Now the reason I'm sitting in a wheelchair is because of my spinal cord injury. My spinal cord was injured in my T5, T6 level. That's about here.
Yeah.
So below this, I kind of lose sensation. I don't have sensation as it goes down. So this is all the sensation I have. Below that, it's completely paralysis. And I had multiple fractures all over my body. And so when I came in the ICU, this is GSE level, it's called a GSE level. A GSE level means a person's vitals, which is supposed to be 15 out of 15. Like today, you're 15 out of 15. Your pupils would dilate if we put if you put light in your eyes. Your sensation is 100%. Your response is perfect. Mine was at the time of accident counted as 3 out of 15. That means I barely had a pulse. And so for me, the level of surgery I had is something called a level 7 surgery. Level 8 is like the highest. That's like a heart transplant. Yes. So for me to survive itself was a big question. And the doctor said he's in coma now after the surgery. There's a 40% of chance he might survive. 60 he probably won't because his body will not be able to repair from the surgeries he just went through. 6 hours for my skull and 6 hours for my spine. Man, but I survived, bro. God's plan had to happen,
and you look damn good with it, right?
And honestly, I'll tell you something. So I was in the ICU for like 2 weeks. Like I said, most scariest trip about morphine. I had so morphine. What people don't know, I think about is you hallucinate a lot, and I just started hallucinating scary stuff.
Oh, you had scary stuff. I had wonderful stuff.
Man.
I was like, if this is heaven, I want to go there.
I wish I had that trip, but mine was. One day I wake up and so your family or whoever gets to visit you like for 5 minutes or 10 minutes in an ICU max. Yeah. Then you're out there, whoever you are. So that's all my family got every day. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, that's it. Snippets. So one night I wake up and it's like 3 o'clock in the night. I still remember there's a clock, like a big clock right in front of my bed. And I'm seeing the entire ceiling is on fire.
Oh my God.
And there's these guys who are like dressed like terrorists or what, and they're shooting one. So in my mind, it's like
And you can't move.
I can't
You're
move,
in the damn
man.
bed,
I can't
yeah.
move. So another thing also, to come back to it, I didn't understand why I couldn't move. You know, when you're on these morphine and you're still recovering and you're from such a big shock, you don't really question like, why can't I move? No, you're just so blank. And you know, you're waiting for answers, you know, like, so I didn't really give a lot of thought process into why I can't move my legs right now. I know I couldn't move my legs, but I'm like, I'm in a hospital by the time
And you certainly didn't feel sorry for yourself. You were just a bit confused, right?
because no one's telling me the truth. No one's telling me what happened. The whole story, what I just told you, I learned it only after a month. Yeah. For a month, no one's telling me that I had a pillion rider. Nobody told me I had a...
Did you want to know?
I didn't know.
You wish they had told you.
I wanted to know. I was so confused. I was so lost.
Because they think you can't cope. They love you, so they protect
they think,
you.
And the worst part is, you know, you have a lot of people who come to you on a daily basis. Once I got shifted out of the ICU, who's asking me, Sujith, what happened that night? And then I just realized, man, I have no answers as well. I really genuinely don't know what happened that night. That's
Crazy.
You know?
So you said 3 years ago you had an operation. Have you had loads of operations since?
I have had about 17 operations till date.
And is this ongoing? You're going to keep having on?
No.
What are these operations?
Technically, it's supposed to stop in 2. The rest is because of one person. Okay, I think this is a story a lot of people actually don't know about. So the first surgery, like I told you, my head, my back, that was 2 surgeries. Now I finished 2 weeks in the ICU, 1 month in the ward. As soon as I got shifted to the ward and I was a little bit more conscious and I was off drugs, like off morphine and everything, I was recovering like this, you know, because by default, I'm like, I'm still fine. I'm going to be, you know, I'm not that slit of where I would go into depression or positivity. I just took that other road. You know what I'm saying? So I was pretty good. And then I spent about 3 months in a rehabilitation center, you know, learning how to move.
That must have been so painful.
My
right?
strength back, that was very challenging because that was actually my wake up. That was actually the part where my eyes opened and saw how bad my situation was.
Yes.
Because suddenly you're sitting in a chair and someone tells you to just do that. And the minute you go there, I would fall because I have no trunk balance. You know, it was that bad. You know, twisting, turning, sleeping, getting into a car, getting into a shower. Everything became challenged because right now, today for me, I've built myself up where I'm strong. But there was a point, if I didn't hold on to something, I would just fall, man. And that was something.
So when you touch your legs now, it's like somebody else's legs you're touching, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel anything much. But I do feel some vibrations once in a while, that like some energy signals that passes through my leg.
Right?
That's some involuntary sign. So the thing about it is, it's not like my legs are dead. It's like the connection is there.
Yeah, the nerves are.
Its nerves are still active and it feels all that, but I'm not able to command it.
But that can be bonded, right? It can't.
So spinal cord is one of the most. They say they really can't repair it. They can't repair it. That's why they have stem cells in progress right now, and there's a lot of experiments still going with stem cells and electromagnetic therapies. I knew this name of this place where they connect your electrodes. There's the procedure is called something. They have it in Bangkok and they have.
I'm going to look into it for you because I was listening to Joe Rogan. I don't know if you know. He was talking about it, so I'm going to look into it.
Stem cells, yes, but stem cells is still experimenting because in India also they have many places where they take stem cells from your bone, the femur bone. No, yes. Yeah, so you can take from many places. So one of the latest studies from UK was the ones that they take from behind your nose because those cells regenerate on a daily or hourly basis. So that's like the most effective one. But yeah, it's got to have a lot of combinations.
May I ask, we live in a country whereby we don't have like national health insurance. Who's covering all these costs of? Is it your insurance? Is it yourself? Family?
It's insurance mostly. But in India, it was all me because I didn't have insurance in India.
Wow. And has finances stopped you from having further surgeries?
Thankfully, no.
Thank God.
Thankfully, no. And like you asked me, why did I have the rest of the surgeries is because like after being in a rehabilitation center, when I got back to house in Kerala, so we are looking everywhere for a cure. Which doctor has it? Because none of in my family has ever faced with a drastic or a tragedy, you know, like what had just happened to me. You know, I just went to a coma, I just bounced back. What's happening? And all is happening within a blink of an eye, you know. None of us have been through this before and we don't even know anybody. So we are like, why not try Ayurveda? Now, Ayurveda, have you heard of Ayurveda?
I know.
You know Ayurveda,
Ayurveda very, very well. I used to own a health clubs, and they were called Ayurveda, which was after
Ayurveda.
Ayurveda.
Ayurveda. Wow,
Yeah, we just take the A off.
I see.
Ayurveda. Yeah.
And so we found this guy who is like this traditional Ayurvedic fellow, and he was like, I can get this guy up. And so he comes and he was like, he analyzes my body and he sees the injuries I have and so on and so forth. He's like, fine, it'll take about a few months, but it'll involve some expenses, but we'll get him up. We were like, don't even worry about the expenses. Just get him up. But now this is the part of this podcast that you're going to find so unrealistic and so bizarre. But I'm going to tell you what exactly he made me do, okay? He said there are few rules that this guy's got to follow if he's going for my Ayurvedic treatment. And he's like this very, I don't know how to describe him, very rough man, like he's wearing a lungi and just a shirt. He's not...
Traditional.
It's like, it's
traditional wise guy.
Sort of guy, you know.
Yeah, but not doctor type.
No, not at all. Not even close. And he was like, so few things we got to do. Number one, there's an oil that has to be made with certain ingredient that's going to cost you a bomb. Like, get it done, because Ayurveda is basically with oils and herbs and so on and so forth, right? Second, he's got to go on something called a patyam. Now, for people who don't know what a patyam is, it's a diet, but a very strict diet. Okay, like it's not your high protein diet, which I wish it was. I would have been freaking Hulk by now if that was a high protein diet. But no, it is a very strict diet. You can only eat certain things and not eat a lot of things, which I'll tell you what I could eat. And third thing, the most bizarre thing, is someone who saw me today is not allowed to see me tomorrow.
There has to be a gap.
Because no, it's if you saw me before my accident, during my accident, or till today, tomorrow onwards you can't see me. You're not allowed to see me. Because till I get back on my feet, because they say bad eye, right? Bad eye thing. So you should not eye
the negativity sends you back or something like that.
You shouldn't hamper the harness the mess the process up of your recovery. So I said fine. So we had another room that was just cleared in my house, and there was this wooden table in which I would get up every day, and what I was allowed to eat, dosa, right?
Yes.
Dosa, with sugar. Very weird. I don't even ask me why I did it, but dosa with sugar is what I ate, and rice twice a day, like for lunch and dinner, with ladyfinger gravy. That's all I was allowed to eat. I was not allowed to have a tea, no fruits, no milk, nothing. Nothing, no chicken, no fish once a week. That's what I had. And red meat I got after like 3 months, one time.
And how long?
Can you imagine if somebody
was
has
this guy's time scale? How long did he say it'll take?
4 months. No, 4 months I went through.
But he said it'll take 2-3 months for you to
He told me before 4 months easily. But by 4 months, why I stopped is if I didn't stop, I would have died. There's no simpler way of saying that.
BS.
It was complete BS. What happened is, can you imagine if somebody's just having dosa and sugar for breakfast every day? Where's your nutrition, man?
Yeah.
Well, it's nothing. It's sugar, it's fat, and it's dosa. It's giving you nothing. And rice and ladyfinger gravy
and
twice
I guess
a
he
day.
blamed you.
And
for it not working.
I'll tell you what happened. So every day, then he used to come, and I used to get in this oil, and he used to massage. And now, if I hit here, I have complete sensation here, right? If I give you, you can take that. But if I keep giving you 10 of them, you're going to get a little hurt.
Of course.
You're going to pull back, right? That's your muscles reacting. Now, I do that on a non-sensational area of my body. My muscles won't move. You can hit 100, 200,
times,
300 times. What will happen is my legs won't move, but my muscles inside will die, right? That's what happened. Because there's also less blood circulation. So he used to come and he used to hit on the thigh like this. He's
thinking he's increasing circulation, or...
He told me the same thing. He told me this is to increase his circulation, and I believed him. And 3 months went down the lane.
How long ago after your accident is this?
March was my accident. I started this guy on about August, September.
Christ, same year.
Yeah, same year.
These are all critical times.
By Jan of 2014, I'm almost dead. It's like I was rushed to the hospital.
So you're killing your body. You're crushing.
He was doing, and this is
so
my
you had
nutrition.
faith. You had belief.
I had faith. I was at a position that was like I would have drank poison, just to walk back.
Anything.
It was that stage, because 21, man, 21. I've just started seeing life, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you a little story, because just to tell you, you're not on your own. Muhammad Ali, the boxer, is my hero. And maybe another time we'll tell you the Muhammad Ali story that I have. Him and his wife were approached by a stem cell guy in Florida, saying that he could cure Parkinson's.
Parkinson's, yeah.
And they left and went and lived in Florida, and it took him for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Even Muhammad Ali, it happened to him.
Yeah.
And he died. Yeah, and he just wasted his money because they had hope. They had belief in
Hope
someone.
and belief. You would have done anything.
And the guy was a con man.
Yeah.
Took their money and did nothing.
It's the same.
See, if it happens to the greatest of them all, yeah, it's nothing.
Well, that's one story me and Ali can share now, finally, on the bright side. But so.
So you nearly died.
Sorry.
And then you nearly died again.
I nearly died because
you went to the hospital because you're malnourished.
One point where I'm waking up and suddenly these shivers started developing. Right, a couple of months later, these shivers started developing, and these shivers were bad. Like these shivers were like. See, you know, I've been through a lot, man. I've been through so much of pain. I think that was the period of my life where I went through so much of pain that I literally had to make a choice of not, like, killing myself would be easier than living a life like this, you know, because I wake up every day. What I get to eat is sugar and dosa. That's it. I cannot shift it because I wouldn't allow myself, because I want to walk. And if this sugar and this dosa and eating this 10 times a day and doing these massages is what's going to get me up on my feet, hell yeah, man, I'm going to do that. Yeah, whatever it takes, you know. But then I'm getting up with the shiver, and my mom used to bring hot, boiling water every 20 minutes just so I keep myself warm. Why I cannot have a Panadol is because this guy said we're doing Ayurveda, you're eating herbs and stuff. You eat any kind of English medicine, which is basically what doctors will give you, it'll hamper my treatment, what I'm doing for you.
Wow.
So I wouldn't touch it. And I used to freeze and sleep. 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, freezing, hot water. This went on for about 2 weeks. I'm talking towards the end.
My God.
Where one day I woke up.
And you weren't allowed to see a proper doctor.
And I wasn't allowed. Yeah. And we wouldn't, because I would still be like, maybe we are so close. You know, we are well-educated people. Mm-hmm. My family, everyone. My mom's a banker. Dad's a HSE advisor. Sisters both are bankers. But at that point, you know, when you reach that life, you would do anything.
I get
just to see me. And I was holding on, man. I was holding on. There are days like I have guests coming, nobody's allowed to see me. I'm locked up in the room. I just have my phone, whatever I'm watching, something on YouTube. That's it. That's how I spend my entire 24 hours a day. All I saw was mom, and that's it. And then one day I reached where I'm lying, my entire thigh, left and my right thigh, is black because it's dead. But I don't know what is this, right? It's completely black. I'm shivering. I cannot open my eyes. And my mom is like, there is something seriously wrong. Stopped it.
And this idiot, sorry to say, but kept confidently coming in every day.
Kept confidently coming every day, sacked us for lakhs of rupees. And my mom put a stop. She's like, we are taking him to the doctor. Nothing said and done. My mom calls her sister. Sister sends both her sons. And they come with the car. Because we are in Kerala. We're not in Dubai, right? We're in Kerala. My dad and my sister is working here. So they had to go. And they come with the car. I remember this. That day, just to get out from that wooden table to my wheelchair, it took me an hour and a half.
You dead weight, that's why.
I can't move. Weight. I'm trying. Finally, I put on clothes. I get on the chair. And the first thing I remember getting out of the room and seeing 2 other human beings, I was colorblind.
No.
My HP dropped, my blood dropped. I was colorblind. All I could see was shadow and this and that sort. I was rushed to the hospital. I sat in the lobby where, where they have the general ward where the doctor will come and inspect and then probably divert you. Doctor read my file for like 10 minutes. To his horror, he blasted at my mom. What have you guys done to this kid? Immediately, and then look at the audacity. This guy, this Vaidyan who was treating me, he comes to the hospital. Man, he comes to the hospital, he tells the doctor, just put him 2 bottles of blood. He's fine. He just needs a blood. Doctor abused the shit out of this guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And threw him out. And I was rushed to the ICU, and I had about 5 to 6 blood transfusions happen to me immediately, back day in and day out. For 3 days I was in the ICU, and the doctor said, then the senior doctor who comes, he's like, if this boy was bought a week later with the same condition of what he was, he would be dead. He wouldn't come walking. He wouldn't come in a wheelchair. He would have died. My HP was about 4 or 5. You know, a man's HP is supposed to be 412. 12 out of 14 in that range.
Now you know there's a reason why you're here. It's not. It wasn't
Tested,
your time.
man, over and over and over again,
Wasn't your time.
And it wasn't my time, definitely, because if I didn't die in my accident, trust me, this was supposed to kill me. What I've been through, and because of his wounds, coming back to answer your actual question, because of the wounds he created. So they said something like this: his thighs are black. You cannot keep it like that. The only way to is surgically remove it, and that will become a pressure sore. You know what's a pressure sore? Yes.
Yes, of
that
course.
happens to a lot of paraplegics who are on the bedridden and on their wheelchairs.
Correct.
And
it's
this
the
guy
most horrible thing.
started. Dariush, can I be very? I don't know. I hope if you want to cut this out,
Say
you
it
can cut it
straight.
out. But it's
No.
very brutal part. I have seen a lot of things happen to my body which a lot of people won't digest. Like it's not. I have seen flesh being cut out of my body. Every day I've seen flesh being cut out of my body and without anesthesia. And I used to look at it.
Because you can't feel it, right?
That made me so cold in my heart that nothing would touch me again. You know what I'm saying? Like it made me so angry that I would make sure if I don't win this game, I'm not going to leave anyone. It gave me that kind of mindset, That's where I became that aggressive guy who's going to go behind everything, because so much was taken from me in so little time that I could never reason with it, So it's like every day there was a constant fight, because he told me he has to remove this flesh. So they used to not do it unconsciously, because I don't feel it, like you said, in front of me every day. It was like
This
cutting,
chap
cutting.
coming to your house. What? This guy coming to your house was removing it.
No, the doctors.
Doctors.
I'm in a hospital
Well,
now.
because you were black and.
I'm black, but
Oh
if
my
the
God.
flesh is there, it's going to infect the entire
Yeah,
body.
yeah,
And
yeah,
probably
so
I'll
cut
have to
it
have
out.
an amputation, is what they told me.
So you scarred all over the place.
So he had to scar. So the entire two sides was cut, and there was literally 2 holes in my body. There were literally 2 holes.
Has
where
that
a palm
muscle
would fit.
come back? I know you're not moving now.
No,
right?
my muscles wouldn't just grow back. That would be impossible.
Yes.
So they did. So that's why I went under the rest 14 surgeries for flap covering, taking
You
muscles
are
from my
kidding me.
thigh.
So if you hadn't been for that Ayurvedic guy, you wouldn't have had all these surgeries. Oh,
I would be left with 2 surgeries and a perfectly fine body. But the amount of scars, my legs, muscles were taken, my fat was taken, skin was taken from my calves, muscles were taken all from my thighs and my upper back. And
wow.
yeah, that's what I went through. And so 17th was my last and final surgery ever, thankfully. Because one surgery kept failing over and over and over again.
Maybe
Every
your body
failing-
rejects it.
Every
yeah.
failing, your body's rejecting it. Exactly. Your body's rejecting it, not accepting it. And that went on, man. That went on.
And this is here now or back in India still?
I had so many in India. I had a couple of them here. About 6-7 years here.
Wow. So now because you haven't moved your legs for so many years, do you still have physio? Do you have movement?
I have physio.
To keep
I do.
the joints in the...
I do have a cycling machine at home, and I do have a standing frame where I pick myself up and my mom ties me. So it's like actually standing, so the pressure is going
Amazing.
on the legs. So the muscles are still maintained in a way. There's pressure falling on the leg, so on and so forth.
Amazing.
Upper
Now-
body, it's
Of course,
I'm
you're
a gym freak,
shredded.
so
yeah.
it's-
So when the spine is joined again and it's connecting, you have a good chance because you've been working on your legs to walk again, right?
Yeah.
That's
If
great.
that is
That's
happening, I think
amazing.
that's still in
That's
a lot
amazing.
of research. That's why stem cells, so for the
Yeah.
connection, for the where the part it's broken, to form another connection or to get a new, because even they have this not electromagnetic, I'm really forgetting this. There's a
I know.
term for this.
Yeah,
You know?
I'll send it to you. I'll send you the information.
Where there's
I
this
actually have
device
it.
and they have about 16 electrodes and about 8 of them are connected to your non-injured area and 8 of them are connected to your injured area.
And they
act as a
get them
connector.
to connect between each other.
They act as a connector, but even that is still a lot in trial phases, and so it should be a combination of that stem cells. But something should come up, I think. I think
It
we've
will.
advanced so much
It will.
that it has to.
It will. I think wasn't it Superman? Like Christopher Reeve.
Christopher
They
Reeve,
found
yeah.
a foundation, didn't they, for stem
Yeah,
cell
yeah.
research for back injuries and everything.
I just tell people who are in a wheelchair, so many of them connect with me on a daily basis, who see me through Facebook, either see my speeches or see my workouts, and they're like, there's this girl who recently met with an accident as well, a couple of years ago, and she saw me and she got so inspired by me that she adopted something I did, which was when I was in Kerala. I was it's just me and my mom, right? So I have my room, which is on the first floor. but there's no way I can reach my first floor, right? Because I don't have a lift.
Wow.
There's no way anybody can carry me, and I can't walk, obviously. I was so adamant that I wanted to go to my room. I asked my mom the first day. She said no. Second day, she like, Sujith, it's not possible. Third day, she like, Sujith, nobody can carry you. I was so pissed off and was so adamant that I wanted to go. What did I do? I wheeled myself to the end of the step. I picked myself from my wheelchair and I placed myself to the step. And I did a back push-up. You know, like you're sitting, you're just pushing yourself up. Yes. I pushed myself 18 steps up.
And all the time you're balancing so you don't fall over.
I'm holding, you know, so I'm very careful.
Absolutely.
One step. So this 18th step is taking me a while, and by the time I'm on top, I'm sweating, I'm panting. But you know what? It was worth it. Because what I did after that, I reached on top, I got on my wheelchair, I went to my room, I slept in my room, and that feeling was so worth it. That accomplishment was so worth it, and that literally sparked a thought in me. That was the first thing that sparked a fire in me, where I thought climbing up a stair was... I asked my uncles, I asked my mom, everyone said it's impossible because there's no lift, you can't walk, no one can carry you. So they completely left it there. Like after that line, it was impossible. But I took a fourth line. I can't walk, I can't run, why don't I crawl? But if I crawl, did I make it to my goal? Hell yeah, I made it to my goal. Then why not crawl and make it to your goal? That in life, that literally sparked a big thought in me. And I was like, dude, you just did something that was considered impossible by everyone.
Amazing.
Probably there is so many other things what people have told you it's impossible now. Dude, go make it happen. What's your excuse? You have nothing to lose anymore. That's what drove me.
Were you always well built or
no? No, I was. I had a pretty okay frame, I would say. But I think boxing, when I got into boxing, is where I actually got a little into fitness. But then it wasn't about the body. Boxing was purely about my mind. Boxing was... I had so much of love for boxing, man. Like, I think boxing is something that saved me, by the way. Because after my accident, the doctor told my brother, was he into any physical sport? He's like, he's a boxer. He used to box in academy. Probably that's why he's alive. Because otherwise a normal person's body would not be able to take the damage he just took right now.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So I owe my life to boxing, man, because that is the only thing I was doing in Bangalore those days.
But your lungs are okay, right? Because
now it's okay.
Although it's below, they're still working fine.
They're working fine,
areas.
but once in a while I do face some breathing issues. Once in a while, but it's nothing to really mention about.
Is the corona affected you at all, or is something you have to watch out for?
Honestly, not me personally, but yes, because in a way my mom had corona in May. She had, and that was horror for all of us.
Did she suffer?
No, she's okay. She's okay. She recovered. She was 22 days in the hospital, and then she was back home. But then we were surprised because mom is like the last person to step out of the house. Like dad goes to work, I go for my events, I go for my work because the office was still on, and sister goes for her work. But mom is the one who got it. But it's okay. It was a scare, but it's okay. But otherwise, I don't think. I mean, I think I just always have my mask on, man.
But you're fearless, right? So if I had corona.
You had? Okay.
7-8 weeks ago.
Okay.
I just stayed in, didn't feel anything.
I think now the virus is really not that strong as how it used to be, according to a lot of experts, because the intensity that it came with, that it does not carry that intensity as it has now. Yeah. You know.
So, but catching it was not going to be a problem for you because of your injuries.
I don't think so. I think the amount of antibiotics that my body has would beat corona any day.
Sure, bring it on. His attitude of bring it on.
Bring it on, boy. Yeah.
Amazing. So you juggle a lot of things. You do events, you do inspirational speaking, you get interviewed, you're on the radio, TV,
I'll tell you what,
awards,
none of
full-time job.
None of this was planned, even including my full-time job. In 2017, it's a 16 end is when I met, my sister DM'd. So I'm back in Dubai. So you know all this, what I just told you right now, hospitals, rehabilitation, surgeries, all this is happening from 2013, 14, 15. 15 mid-end, I'm in Dubai, right? And I'm in a way better place than what I was a couple of years ago. Health-wise, now I'm with family. My mom is there, my dad is there, my sisters are there. So it's good now. And because you have people, you know, and it's that feeling itself is so much better than being isolated. And I was thinking, I am not doing anything now. I don't have a job. I've never worked in my life at that time, till that time. and I'm 25 years old maybe then, and 25, 24. I've not worked, I don't have a job, I have nothing to do, nobody's forcing me for anything. Dude, I got to do something.
And you could have easily felt sorry for yourself.
And I could have.
Who wants to employ somebody on a wheelchair, right?
I could have thought that, and not only that, I could have stayed at home and nobody would have questioned me. Nobody would push me for anything. They're like, you want to sit at home? Be at home, no worries. Be comfortable. You know, it was like that. But I'm like, no, I got to get something done. I need to get my strength back. Because my confidence lied in that. You know, like if you're physically not able to get a cup from the middle of the table, what good are you for? You know what I'm saying? Like that was, you know, and I had to be dependent even at that stage for a lot of things. But I'm like, I got to get my strength back. I missed boxing. So I went to the gym, my next building gym, which I always used to train when I used to come for vacations. My coach was like shocked when he saw what happens to me. When he heard my story, he's like, you know what, screw it, you want a gym? And even when I told my family I want a gym, some people, like friends, they were doubtful, like would I be able to do anything? Like, you know, what are you going to be doing in a gym? There's probably nothing you can do in a gym. Because like I said, Dariush, you know, my balance, everything was a toll. But my coach is like, you know, boy, you want to do it? Let's get it on, you know. And then I go to the gym, and for the first 2 weeks, I'm lifting only 5 kilo, which is a joke. You know, right? 5 kilos is a joke, but all I'm doing is 5 kilo dumbbells, 5 kilo anything.
The bar itself is like 10 kilos. Right?
Yeah, exactly. That's all I'm limited to, because he's just being very careful with me.
Of course.
But let me fast forward 3 months down the lane. I am bench pressing 100 kilos. I'm doing rack pull of 120 kilos. I've built myself in 3 months, consistent, focused. All I wanted was gym, and I got that. And the minute I got that, I was in such a better place. That's when my sister DM'd Chris Fade, saying that, you know, there's a story like this. My brother went through so and so, but he's still positive. Chris is like, does he want to be on the show? And the funniest part is, I don't know who Chris Fade is.
Never heard
in
of him.
2000, I'm in India, like throughout my life, like never heard of him. I'm literally Googling who Chris Fade, Preeti Malik, Big Rossi is the previous night. And I ended the show. But the minute I saw this guy, a ball of energy, freaking amazing, ball of energy.
Beautiful.
And he comes and we chat on the radio. And that's when my first time my story was heard. And then in 2017, he was like, you know, I'm launching something called Fade Fit, and I want you to be a speaker. So I have never shared my story completely, you know, with all the trauma and the pain and everything until then. And that's when I actually, at the first Fade Fit event is where I shared my story. And when I shared my story, man, after I was done, a lot of people were in tears. A lot of people were in pause, and a lot of people came to me. Man, when we look at you and when we hear your story, we just start thinking, what are we doing with our lives? Like, you know, how much we complain for on a general. Can you imagine, bro, how much, you know, people generally actually complain about? Their car is not fine.
I get a little pain in my shoulder.
My coffee is not, I'm not going to go for the gym today because it's far. You know, I used to travel through metro and buses just to make it to gym. You know, from Sharjah. So like I said, like after this event, but I wanted to say was like, man, there's so much we have to talk about. Like there's so much.
We'll do if you're happy, we'll do this again.
We should, I think
I'd
we
love
should.
to.
But this gym story,
Tell us.
Right after that event, Fade Fit event, I got a lot of appreciation. A lot of people came hugging. You know, like they were so happy to hear my story. And I got sponsored by UFC for 1 year in a gym. Now the thing is, I live in Sharjah, but my gym is in Business Bay. How do I get it? How do I come every day? I can't afford it because I can't pay for a cab every single day since I'm not working.
It's a long way.
But because UFC gym had boxing bags, which I wanted to get back to boxing,
You had to get.
I had to get there. I used to wheel myself. I want you to visualize what I'm saying. From my house, I stay in Al Nahda. There's a mall called Sahara Center right next to my house.
Center very well.
I used to wheel from my building to Sahara, which is about 200.
In the heat.
In the heat, because it used to be always in the mornings and afternoons. Wheel from my house to Sahara. Let's say that's about 200, 300 meters.
Carrying a bag?
No, just this bag.
Okay.
You know, because yeah. And if at all, it would be on the lap, but no big deal. So I'm in from my house to Sahara, I enter the mall. I exit Sahara from back. Then I wheel for about 50 meters. I have a cab over there. There's a bus. There's a bus that comes that will take me to the Gises metro station. Okay?
And I guess by now you're really aware of wheelchair accessibility.
Completely. From there, Gises metro station, Business Bay. From Business Bay, I take a bus and I come to UFC. And then after my workout of 2 hours, I go back the same way. Every day it takes me 5.5 hours for gymming before I had to work. But I used to do it. And I used to travel, man, in a wheelchair just with the headphones. And I tell people, you guys complain about the slightest
Getting
things
in
life.
a car, going 10 minutes in the traffic to the gym.
You have a gym in your own building and probably 90% of the people don't work out. They find excuses.
How important is working out to you?
Very important, because it's way more mental for me than it's physical. If I was not working out, I probably wouldn't be where I am today. If I didn't pick up myself, if I didn't challenge myself at those phases, I really doubt that I would be here today. Because for me, Dariush, every step has been a challenge, and it's always new. It's not like just because you did 10 challenges, you're ready for the 11th one. No. Everything is different. And everything is something that is so uncertain. I think a lot of us back out from certain things because of the uncertainty, of the outcome. You're fearful of something. For me, I didn't have a choice. It was for me either to go forward or go back to being in that little room.
Because if you don't grow,
that
you die.
dark room that you were,
die.
and no one's going to even care of you anymore. And you're probably not going to be anything anymore. I couldn't take that option, because for me it was literally every time, like at these stages, today I'm in a way better place. Today I know. Today I'm good, I've done things, so I know how to bounce from there. But there was a time where I had no idea. I didn't know how to pick up myself. I didn't know how to start something.
You have no idea how emotional I am right now. And inspired.
Thank
honestly.
you, man.
It's kind of delve a little bit deeper, if you don't mind.
I just want to tell you one more thing,
Yeah.
because I know a lot of
please,
people are hearing your podcast.
Yes.
A lot of people ask me this one question though. Sujith, were you always like this? Or how do you build up this confidence? Let me tell you, dude, I am a complete normal guy. Nothing extraordinary about me. Nothing X factor person to pick me up and say, come, let's go. I did not have that person. I guess
you weren't into reading motivational books or anything like that. It was
nothing.
Just inside,
I wasn't really into that, but it's like when life brought me at that point, I had a choice to make. Either give up
or step up.
Man. Literally, either give up, be in that room, nobody's going to care that Vaidyan messed you up, you just can't walk anymore, you're forgotten, your friends left you, your girl left you, everything in one side, versus take a big effing chance and face the world and make something that you've never been before. And that's exactly what I did, man. I didn't look back since then, because there was so much of aggression, there was so much of anger. This is me being very real, very talk. What drove me was anger to prove people wrong. That anger, I could have either used it to burn me, or I could have used it to fuel me. That's what I chose.
I feel you.
That's how simple it is. So for people who think that was I always like this, no I wasn't. Was I always this positive in outlook and why? No, I wasn't. But over time I became that person, and today my only motive is to show people, dude, look at me.
Does the anger still burn inside you sometimes?
No, but it fuels me. It always fuels me.
Still
Do I
is,
go into
still
depression?
Everybody has ups and downs. Everybody has ups and downs.
Because I don't like to sugarcoat things at all. I don't want to show people that it's a beautiful world out there. Once no,
you're
that's
real,
not the truth, man.
You're real.
It doesn't burn. Yes, there are days where that thing comes to me like, dude, yeah, you're on a chair, man. How the hell are you going to get out of it? Even after 8 years, because this is, for me, I still have hope. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up anytime soon. Either I'm going to die thinking I'm going to get back up, or I'm going to freaking get back up. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to die trying, So yes, there are days that depression hits me, which is very one on time. That's when I just give time to myself. I say F everything else. I have nothing. I just want to be me. I let that digest in me. You have come this far. You did your stuff. Yes, it is effed up what's happening to you right now. But give it a day, give it a day or two. Cry about it. Be sad about it. Don't talk to anybody about it. Don't get out. Do whatever the hell you want. But third day, make sure you're back up, because what you build right now is still there for you to make it higher. That's what I tell myself. 1-2 days, I'm isolated, bro. I'm isolated. I have to cry. I'll cry. From sad, I'm sad. But third day, make sure I'm back up and I'm running and I'm doing my shit. That's it.
It's a real man, bro.
That's the truth.
Real man.
That's the truth.
My respect to you. Really.
Thanks, bro.
Talking about being real men. Now, you said nothing works below. And that affected your relationship. You said you lost your girl. But now, being an inspirational person, I am sure you're very attractive to the opposite sex, right? That you're inspiring and people are attracted to you. So how's that going? How's that
going great. To answer the first side, it's when my accident happened when I was in Kerala, a lot of people stopped calling, stopped messaging. They didn't start seeing me of who I was. Sujith was a boxer, Sujith was a runner, Sujith was a great guy. not the best guy, but okay, he was an asshole or whatever. But he was a guy. He was a nice guy. You know, there's a lot of memories of Sujith. But the minute that happened, the accident happened, Sujith is just a guy in a wheelchair. That's how it turns out to be. And then it's only sympathies. There are very few people in my life who have still spoken to me the same way. Like, shut up, man. It's going to get better. Like, you know, nobody's going to cry for you. No, nobody's crying about it because nothing's wrong with you. We're going to get you. I have like, those are real friends, man. Those are real friends, like, which is about like handpicked 4 or 5. That's about it. Rest, everyone forgotten. So over time when I was in Kerala, all the calls stopped coming. All the, you know, and then yes, you have this whole factor of how women look at you. Suddenly, you know, you're in a wheelchair, women are not going to look at you same way. And you have never been looked at
because you looked at yourself differently, right?
I looked at
I'm
myself.
sure you don't have a freaking problem now.
Man, I go to clubs freaking and women are like, can we dance with this dude right now? What's up, you know?
I feel it.
Like, yeah, it's, I like you said.
I want to bring this up because there's able-bodied freaking men out there who are struggling forming friendships and relationships, right?
It's exact. You answered the question. Honestly, it's the way I started seeing myself. Because I'm like, I'm Sujith, I'm dope, man. I'm fly as F. Like, that's how I carried myself. And it was not faking it. This is what I think of me. Like, what's wrong with me? Sit down, have a conversation. Let's see who can talk about what. Like, you know, have a real talk, you know.
Bring it on.
What is more sustainable? What is more real, you know? What can you hold? And you finally find all the people who are out there thinking there's some big fly. They're nothing, bro. They're nothing. So I think it's the attitude that you carry and who you think about yourself is the way your energy is portrayed out.
You sent it now. You know, Sujith.
Yeah.
You know you.
Yeah.
You don't have to be somebody else. Your energy is centered, right?
Your energy is what really attracts this thing. So people can see. Nobody can fake energies. You know, you talk to a person.
Wow.
You know if that person is real. In 5 minutes you'll know. If he's a sucker,
in a wheelchair you stand tall. Does that make sense?
Yeah, man. That definitely makes sense, bro.
Take that with you. In a wheelchair, you stand tall. Proud of you.
Thank you.
Sincerely proud of you. Really from my heart. Hope you can feel it. I'm so proud of you. And you still have most of your life ahead of you.
I do.
So tell me about this a gym. You're going to different gyms.
Now, so I have...
we're going to go back and forth, by the way. Are we okay for time?
I'm good with time. I think,
We've gone over, but amazing, right?
We did, I think, a lot, right?
It's fine. I'm loving it.
Gym. So, though I have been working out from a long time. So initially, I'll tell you, even Instagram, the whole thing. I don't know. A lot of people don't like the word influencer, but I say it in the actual general terms, like influencer. I'm influencing you. So, you know, let's do it together. It's because I've always wanted my life to be lead by example. You know, I watch someone else. I probably watch a janitor. Something that the janitor did, that's an example for me. Or I probably a CEO and something he did is, so, you know, I think in life we all lead by example, bro. In different circumstances, in different scenarios or whatever, there's something that can spark an inspiration in you, but that smallest thing can be that can really change something big in you, you know. So why I started posting about my workouts on Instagram was to show some close friends of mine who are following me, which are like 100 or 200 followers, that Sujith is still not given up. That's it. That was the message. Sujith is still not given up and he's working out. That's it. I didn't know what Instagram is. I don't know who to follow, who not to follow. How do you use it? Photos, filters, nothing. My content was so shitty, dude. Like, honestly. So all I posted was to show my friends, some people who followed me,
going out there
that I'm going out, I'm still doing it, and I'm doing it in a wheelchair. You could do it the same. And I got phenomenal responses. But then over the years, as it grew, as, you know, people started hearing about me, knowing about me, I have a lot of people who have connected me from India and from Dubai, different nationalities, who are in wheelchairs, and they're like, Sujith, we want to work out like you, but we do not know what to do, and we do not know how accessible are gyms in the wheelchair. Like I said, fear of uncertainty. I'm like, why not take it up on me? Go to about as many gyms as I can in the UAE. Just go, show the gym, show me working out, trying the exercises and their machines, and give an honest review on what I actually find is accessible and what it's not. The machines, the workouts, what I can do, their washrooms, every single thing. That's what I did.
And all the gyms welcomed it, although they might get criticized.
Some I haven't heard back from, but some of them were giving me only their venues that are accessible, but which is fair enough. Like, if not this gym, that gym, you know, we're not expecting every gym. But then many gyms I went, one issue I faced was their washrooms. There was like a small step to get into their washroom. So I review about it all, you know.
In my gym, it's a small step. You're right.
Which gym do you go to?
SF.
Trainers F.
Yeah.
Okay, there is? Okay.
In the male changing room, there's a step.
There is a step. Okay.
And then another step. No, there's one step.
So I did.
One step.
Luckily I got to do about 6 gyms before 6 big ones before the Dubai Fitness Challenge got over. So I'm also in the process of reviewing smaller ones.
It's actually an amazing advertising for the gym that's got accessibility because you're going to get new members, right?
Because for me, the whole idea is, it's like any of these gyms. If I do, let's say 50 gyms, let's say by next year, March or April, on a realistic note, if there is 2 people who joins some locality of some gym that I reviewed on and they know it's accessible now, my goal is, my purpose is filled. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I did it for. So I'm telling them every single thing on how accessible the area is, the machines are, how easy it is to get on a machine, how friendly the coaches are. So, you know, some gyms I've really loved, to be honest. Like some
Do you have a personal trainer now?
No, I have always trained myself.
Okay.
I know my workouts, so
you don't need a personal
But
trainer.
then I do need some. When I go to these gyms or when my gym, I do have my the trainer of the gym helping me out in some workouts because I need more balance. Like in terms of when I do a bench press, I have spasms on my legs, involuntary spasms. So he just has to hold the leg down.
Yeah, because
so
you don't know how it's going to...
That's so for these few exercises, I have them helping me out.
Interesting. These spasms are happening.
And I showed them in my gym reviews. I showed them the same thing: how a gym trainer would help you with your spasms.
Amazing.
And I made the guy hold my leg, show how I was bench pressing, and how he helped me come back up and help me sort. So people should see they should, because a lot of people have so much doubts, and they would probably never do what I do, like step into a gym and actually give it a try. Because a lot of fear, you know, people have probably never done it before.
They might look foolish. They might
look foolish. They have the fear. But if I could do that for them and show them, then probably they know, okay, fine, it's as easy as that.
Incredible, because you're walking their way
I really want to
them.
host like events, or you know, where I can get a lot of people of determination together, probably have workouts in the gym.
Let's have a chat. Let's you and I have a coffee or chat afterwards, because you know what I do.
That. Sorry?
You know what I do? I'm some kind of an influencer. I specialize in marketing. I specialize in marketing, right?
Okay.
So my role is to get a lot of people to become into your tribe, whatever you're selling, whatever you're doing, whatever your message is. That's what I do.
Okay.
And
you should definitely have a chat about this.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I don't have such a painful or a dramatic experience as you, but just through speaking, I have 500,000 followers.
Wow.
Just through speaking, organically grown.
That's amazing,
and
man.
I want to go to the millions. And your story is more beautiful than mine, you know.
You're inspiring, man. You're inspiring so many out there because you're constantly putting your message out there.
You have to.
I think it's just to spark that brain, you know.
What you said, Sujith, was that your story is real. Okay, a lot of people, there's a lot of coaches out there or motivational speakers who read a lot of books and they talk it, okay, or they've written a book, a fictional one, and they talk about the book. And when I do a talk, because I'm talking from my heart, from my experience, people get emotional, don't they? They cry, they laugh, they dance, and I'm sure it's the same with you.
Yeah.
And you hit them where the heart is, not in the head. And
because those motivational speakers are just giving facts.
That's not real to them. They've never lived it, right?
I know what you mean. There are many out there who are just giving facts, and they give you, if you really because I give quite a bit of research into all this. I don't want to name any, but even these top class one speakers.
All credit to them, right?
All credit to them
because of some good messages out there. If a few pick up on it, great.
Their methods work, but their methods are all subconscious tricks, if you know what I mean. Like some rituals that they do during their ceremonies, and some ways of triggering and asking you questions make you have a whole new thought of like, wait, what did I just ask myself? Probably those are questions you would have never asked yourself in such a way that you suddenly know that the solution was right in front of you, and this person or this man or woman just help you find that solution.
But one of the problems is that those people become either course junkies, they have to keep going to courses to remember, or the moment they leave the course, they forget it.
You know, I completely...
And when you inspire people in the heart, it stays.
That's true. I completely agree with that. But one thing is true. Motivation is something that does not last. That is something you need a daily dose of. That is a fact. Nobody in this world...
I think motivation comes from within.
But like you said, that seminar, let's say for that seminar, there are like 100 people out there. 100 people from that 90 would probably need to bounce to every other seminar that comes after that. But there's that 2, 5, 10% that made a decision. Today I'm going to change my life because I don't like something about it. And they don't have to probably go to another seminar again, but they made that choice and they made that sacrifice that comes with it. Yes. Like, you know, there's a lot of people don't understand this. For success, There's a lot of sacrifice. What is success? Very subjective. For me, what success is getting all my plans done. I have a lot of plans. I'm a guy who'll literally jump into a lot of
Do you
things.
write them down or are they just in your head?
I have if you come to my house, I would invite you someday. It's a mess, but I have so much things written. Like there was a point of time, my entire wall was with sticky notes, but then that got too messy. My workplace is I have this board where I have things to do. I have ideas. My phone has I just for you to know, what I basically do, like I said, I'm a banker by day job. I'm a motivational speaker. So when companies or schools or events, they this thing that I'm there for that. And in my bank, I'm a host as well. That's very low key. But the main other thing I'm into now these days is music. I make music, like the first rap you just heard me saying about. So I'm releasing my first official track on 25th December in World Trade Center. And the song is called Determined. So early this year, I was approached by this company called VU Clips. And they were doing a documentary on people of determination. And so he heard I made a song on COVID-19. Mm-hmm. Okay. And this guy loved this track. He loved this COVID-19 because it was, I guarantee you, I want to send that track to you. You will definitely relate to that track. Anybody would, because I have linked every single aspect of what we do on it.
If you send it to me, is it a video attached to it? Or
there is a video and there is audio as well.
Send it to me and I'll post it on all my social media platforms.
Done. And when he was like, can you please make a rap for people of determination? Because we're making a documentary on them. I'm like, this is perfect. And I made a track and it's called Determined. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I'm releasing the first official music video of that on 25th December at World Trade Center for an event with Comedy Kicks. So that's me getting into music now. So
let me know, please. I'd like to come
if you check my phone, I have like about 200 clips of random noises and random lines, random bars which I've recorded at some place.
This is going 1,000 miles an hour, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Busy. Do you sleep well?
Yeah, pretty not as well as I should, but yeah.
You said you drove here. Are you driving now?
I drive since 2018 onwards.
Special car?
No. Thank you for that question. A lot of people have that doubt. So it's any automatic car I can drive, but there's a lever which is connecting to the accelerator and the brake.
Wow.
Which is screwed. The minute I remove the screws out, I can put it to another car. It's not a special car. It's as simple as that.
So you
not
can
a
use
manual
the brake and the accelerator with your hands.
In one hand itself. So my palm would have the brake and my thumb would have the accelerator.
That's incredible. And you have to have special tests for that, or?
No, I mean I got my license in Gladiator, and they have a car that is made inbuilt with this.
Incredible.
But if I bought a car that was inbuilt, I would be stuck to that one car. Mm-hmm. With this, I can drive any automatic car.
Amazing. And you got here by yourself, or you had some assistance?
No. So the only part where I need assistance would be like when I'm getting in a car, for the person to put my wheelchair in the boot.
Sure.
Did
you come here by yourself or no?
Yeah, now I'm here by
so
myself.
our guys helped
Your guys just helped me
amazing.
from the car to get the wheelchair out.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's really good to know because I wouldn't know what to do, right?
Yeah.
I would have been sitting on the second floor of this building waiting for you.
Yeah.
If you hadn't been for Asan to
Ask
come
them,
yeah. So it's ignorance, isn't it, right? Now I know if next time I have somebody in a wheelchair, where to meet them, where to pick them up.
What not to do. Yeah, that's
incredible.
True.
Ignorance.
So my whole life over here, especially in Dubai now, since I've been reviewing gyms, I want to also show, after this I have a plan. I want to really ramp up this city. So that has been a thought in my mind, how to, some places.
Let me tell you what I got an idea for you, if you don't mind. Have you ever had a video, like a 2 or 3 minute inspirational documentary done on you?
Documentaries done on me?
2 or 3 minutes,
no.
Okay, let's discuss
that.
I'll do one for you.
I have a documentary done on me by Sharjah University, but it's like 7-8 minutes.
No, I'll do a professional one for you. Okay, we'll do it as friends go. Okay, that we can put it on YouTube. It'll inspire hundreds of thousands of people.
Okay.
I promise you. I have exactly something in mind.
You just made me remember something. So one thing I've done, I don't know if Angela has seen it. I think I've shared it. I'm not sure if I've shared it to her or not. So in 2018, so for me, this whole gym thing made a big difference in my life. Because me getting back to the gym was the sole reason where a lot of people found inspiration through me. I was like, I'm a nobody, man. I just came through hell and I'm just starting to see the sunrise. And there are people coming to me on a daily basis and telling me how much I've managed to inspire them. People who message me randomly on Facebook saying that, dude, today I went to the gym after seeing your video. You know, like how much of power that gives me.
No, if you stop going to the gym, you could become really fat, right?
Gym
You
is
could.
healthy.
You
Gym
could
is
become-
literally,
yeah.
I tell people, dude, gym is so much more mental than you think it's physical. Gym is not just building about a six-pack abs or getting some big bicep. That's not what it is. For me, gym is purely pushing myself. That's one place I feel where these big boys also are like just my match. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's so much physical. Like, it helps me be in my zone. It helps me push myself without anybody else.
There are people out there who inject with testosterone and all sorts of things, right?
Completely. I know that. I stay away from it. I don't recommend anyone for it because, see, you know, people do this for the looks. It's an obsession, you know.
Yes.
And I know a lot of people who do use it. But if you get into that game, you're never going to get out of that game because you always want something bigger, something better, something like him, something like her. You're never going to reach your final goal because you'll never be satisfied. But during that process, you're gonna harm your body so much that it's going to be irreversible. Live naturally, man. You have a time, live it till the end. You know, people always want something today. They do all these fast methods. But for these fast methods, you don't understand is the fun of anything, in any game, in any process, is the journey.
Exactly.
It's not the destination.
Naturally.
It's not the destination. Anything in life, if you really think about it, it's actually the journey. You're right? The journey
And
is
the destination isn't that exciting anyway. If you don't enjoy the journey, the destination isn't that yeah.
You're there at the destination, now what? You're done. Khalas, you reach the destination, period. But anything you want to really enjoy, you go through the journey. The things that come through your journey that either makes you or breaks you, or the days you push, the obstacles that come. And you got to see every day like that. You got, man, life is, I'm not trying to say to people, you know, life is beautiful and wonderful. No, it's shitty, it's unfair, it's hard, man. The world out there, people are greedy. They want to eat you up like a shark, and that's a fact. Your friends also that sometimes can also look at goals from you, you know, what they can benefit from you, or people also they associate what they can benefit from you. This world is cruel, my friend. But what you can do is be a good person, wake up every day, live life like as the best you can do, make a good impact in someone else's heart, because you know what, even though there are sharks out there are also good people out there who are genuine. And you know, man, I have met some amazing people, bro, and some most unexpected people. They would be cleaners, or they would be janitors, and those guys, the little things that they would have done probably another man wouldn't have done for me, you know. Like there was this one time, I think this guy janitor, he came running from across the hall just to open up a door for me. I can open my door, but a man who was standing right next didn't even bother about it. So that's the difference, man. For me, that janitor is up there than that fellow any day. You know, so live your life as a good person,
and the fact
man.
is that now life's humbled you, right? So you notice these little things.
Bro, I'm grateful, man.
Yeah.
I am so grateful to you. I can't tell you how grateful I am for the life I have. And I'll tell you one more thing, since you're having a very real talk. So during all this time, all this, a lot of fame came, a lot of name came, a lot of recognition came. You go into a little other zone. You know what I'm saying? You go into pride. You think you're something.
Yeah.
But then,
ego.
Luckily, people have brought me back to where I am supposed to be, for which I am grateful for. I'm very humble for where I am today. Trust me, there's no pride to it that I did something. No, man, hell no. I'm freaking lucky to be alive. I'm freaking lucky to be sitting here. We're lucky
that you're sitting here.
I'm breathing another day. You know, I get up in the morning. I'm quite religious. I'm so grateful to God, man. Like I literally, how many times, Dariush, I could have died. Think about it, the accident, that Vaidyan, any time in the hospital, 16 surgeries, either one of them. Any one of them.
You know, the funny thing is that people ask me, why are you always happy? I say, because I'm breathing.
Breathing,
and they don't understand it. You know, I've nearly died a few times, and you think to yourself, you know, that just being here is a bonus.
Yeah.
Nobody's guaranteed anything, and it's hard to compromise it unless you go through that. And I don't wish it on anyone, but
True.
It's hard to compromise it unless you go through that pain.
You know, I think, you know, when you start really realizing how much people have out there, like really think about it. You're in Dubai, you see the most billionaires to the most poorest of people who live bread by bread, who live paychecks by paychecks. Yeah. I'm talking about really poor people out there. I have clothes on my body, I have a car to drive, I have a nice car to drive, I have some good people in my life. You know how lucky that is? And I'm breathing, I'm happy, I'm fresh, I'm sober, I'm good. Nice. I legit, for this moment, yes, I have 100 things that will probably worry me. But at this moment, am I grateful? Yes, I am. And that is the mindset that I would probably keep me and help me to battle all my other problems.
And like, because I was saying, and you will win, my friend.
And we will, man, because everybody has problems, but it's how you approach that problem. We'll either make it a bigger problem or make it less of a problem.
You work for a bank.
Yes.
And you said you left early to get here.
Yeah.
Are they really understanding? Are they good with you?
Oh,
Do
my
they
bank loves
understand?
me.
Pardon?
They love me.
Really?
Because I mean,
Amazing.
they know I
So they're flexible. You don't have a rigid company who say you can't do this, you have to leave this. They understand.
Oh no,
that
no,
you're inspired.
my head of HR, she follows me on Instagram.
Amazing.
Yeah, so they I mean they know my cause is good. It's nothing. It's
Wow.
because I've given a lot of talks in my bank.
Wow.
I've given talks to my CEO.
Do you mind if it's good for the bank? It's an amazing bank.
It's
I
good for
bank
the-
with them.
yeah.
So do you mind if you tell the audience who the bank is?
Yeah, Emirates NBD.
Emirates NBD.
Emirates
Incredible.
NBD.
Incredible.
And my staff. I mean, they all know what I do. They do the work I do because I've been doing a lot of events. I've done a lot of motivational talks in my company. And even for Emirates NBD Diamond Awards, I was one of the hosts for the Diamonds Award. Me and another guy. So that's why they're very. And I do my bit. It's not like I compromise on that. I do as much as I can, and I focus
They
on
show
my
some
other
flexibility in return.
things. Because there's a lot of things happening. So I really, at times, I do find struggle because I do want to give a lot of focus into the way my speaking when it comes. But since COVID hit, a lot of things have gone haywire. A lot of events of mine got cancelled. But
Did you get paid for those events?
I do get paid for my
Good,
events.
Good. That's really important.
And my next is my big foot I want to stake is in music. So I really want to keep making music because that's something I'm really passionate about. I have about 5 songs that are ready, and so hopefully after the launch of the first one I'll start releasing.
What I would like to do is, if you don't mind,
Yes.
I have some amazing ideas in my head as I've now met you. And I want to gift this to you. So if you have an hour next week to come to my office,
Okay.
anytime I'll make it available. I'll get my videographers to come in and we'll do a whole story book. And then we'll present to you how we're going to take you to the next level. No charge. It's my love. Just with love.
Thanks, man.
And
Appreciate
I would
that.
love you to maybe we talk about the story, we draft some ideas together, and then maybe you can write some music for it as well.
To be unique, huh?
No, for your video.
For
your
my video, okay.
Yeah, we'll do maybe a 5-minute documentary, 2-minute documentary with music and really
I want
inspire
you to
the
hear
masses.
COVID-19 now.
Pardon?
I want you to hear that COVID-19 track.
Yeah, love you too. How long
Yeah.
is it?
Sorry?
How long is it?
2 minutes.
You want to play it now?
You want to play?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Shall I start?
Yeah, please.
See the lyrics. That's how I roll, bro. You feel it? It was just one line that came to my
Amazing.
mind.
Can I ask you, you've written a lot of music. You memorize them all, right?
Pretty much.
You have to be super freaking intelligent to remember
Pretty much.
that.
This one, because I'm literally on a, it's all in my mind, because this is, there was a lockdown happening, right, in UAE, like 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock lockdown.
Yeah.
And in Sharjah, we had this lockdown at 8 o'clock.
Yes.
So me and my friend used to run every day so we could just have a chai near the Cornish and come back. And one of the days I was just coming back, and it always starts like this. And I saw the roads of Sharjah Dubai highway empty. And it just came to my head, the roads are empty, the streets are scary. You gotta stay in before you go down in plenty. I'm like, shit, that's a nice line.
Yeah.
So then I go home and then I think of what all we can relate and what all is happening in Dubai. Like you heard the children, the schools, the short smoke breaks, the revving pedals, the races, the parties, every single thing, the bad bosses, the job losses. So I related everything and I'm like, how can I make this creative? And I got this down in like 3 days.
And the music, amazing by the way. And the music, you know how to do...
That's a YouTube beat.
Oh.
Yeah, so...
Okay, I'm going to have a chat with you about that because I've actually paid for a course to do music production myself.
Did? Man, the only toughest thing I find today is getting music.
Okay.
Like I have my lyrics all sorted out, but
Let's have a chat. Man,
so this is one of my worst.
So let's do this again, right?
Have you enjoyed this? We should. I love this.
I loved it.
I love this. I'll tell you one short verse. I'm going to just spit right now, yeah?
Please.
This is for my future song, but it's going to be a little changes, but this is the basic one of it. Yo, let me tell you something about SKV. I used to live my mind like a little crazy when I had all the pride and the freaking glory. Top of my game, what I used to be. Rolling with the boys everywhere I go. Partying, living like a king-size Romeo. K5 Kings, live life, kick dads, did a lot for friends. Got my back till the end, was the thought in my head. 7 years. Time I took away from a family in Dubai. What can I say? Got the freedom I needed, grew up my way. The bad son, brother or the friend you say, dominating my scenes in my world away. With the stacks and the cash and the booze and the rack, I went for it all like I just want to slay. But I fought for the guys who stayed night and day.
Love it.
And the chorus is going to be like the chorus, but okay, let's just give that much for now. Probably some more later on.
And this just comes.
It just comes, man, because it's the message. What's the message? I usually get a line or two and then I'm so obsessed about it the next few days. I'm sure I'm thinking of the next line. I get the line, how to make it more metaphorical, and then I just...
Damn.
But like this one, I really like COVID-19. Like I generally don't like a lot of my own speeches. Like I don't like to watch myself. I have this thing. But I really like COVID-19. So this is something you can listen to on a loop as well.
Let's get you out there.
Should, man.
Let's get you out there. Done. Bro, I love you.
Love you too, man. What a vibe I'm having with you, man.
I
totally feel you feel what I'm saying, So that makes me so happy. You connected with me.
No, it's true. It's true. I feel it. My respect. Let's do this again, and I'm going to meet you next week. When this microphone's off, I'm going to tell you what I've got planned. Because I don't want this to be like, I want the audience to know.
Yeah.
I want it private between you and I.
For sure.
Done. Much love. Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, everybody. Now, if anybody wants to follow you and connect with you, would you please share your...
Yes.
by the way, at the bottom, we will put that. Everything we say now is going to be nice subtitled.
Okay.
And we're going to put everything by text. But do share with us how they can connect with you and follow you.
You can connect me on Facebook, which is Sujith Varghese, or on Instagram, which is Sujith Story. That's Sujith Story, Story. So
Brilliant.
those are the two main platforms you can see me at.
Sujith, thank you so much. God bless you, man.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work. Outstanding work. Thank you, man. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye everyone.